Vanessa, do you want me to make you and Mindy co-hosts? Okay.
Hey, Deanne, I'm coming to the meeting, okay? Just so you know.
Okay. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Okay, Mindy, you're now the host. So,
Oh, why am I the host?
well, because I need to leave to go to the EACS meeting.
Oh, okay.
So I'll be here for the first part of the meeting, and then I need to go get all my paperwork ready for the other meeting.
Okay.
And that way you guys can continue without me.
Okay, do we want to go ahead and get started? I think most of the regulars are here. So for an update from the district, they, correct me if I'm wrong, Deanne, they took us off or won't confirm that we're on the 420 agenda until the superintendent had their legal team review our contract, which has now been reviewed, and a draft amendment was sent to Deanne. And other than that, no other feedback or questions. Is that right?
Yes. So as soon as that the legal team feels like they're good with the changes to the contract, they'll forward that, Daryl will forward that to Dr. Bishop and the school board secretary. So hopefully we'll get on that agenda. But it may be now looking at the May agenda.
Okay, and then we had talked about last time looking at, is it the Chugach School District? Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, their standards-based grading system, and Deanne got them for 429. Is that the correct Thursday? They'll give us kind of a walkthrough of what they use and how they do their grading. And then the last meeting, we worked on the list of electives we wanted to offer, and Deanne was working on getting the district's academic plans for those, and I think you got most of them back, and they're uploaded on the Google Drive, so you should all be able to access those.
Yeah, the majority of the all of them actually, except for the beginning guitar, come from the district's CTE department, the Career Technology Education Department. The beginning guitar, if you get into that folder, you'll notice there's a lot more information in there than just the academic plan. And then I have a whole other folder that is available to whoever is going to teach that course, which includes assessments. So like a midterm and a final, and quizzes and lesson plans, specific lesson plans, not just resources.
Is there anything you want us to look at specifically with those, or just look through them and see if they sound like that's what we wanted to teach in the elective?
Well, I think that what we do want to do is take a look at it, see if those academic plans sort of match up with the course descriptions that's in the program of studies. Because based on those, we need to figure out what our report card's going to look like. If we're going to be doing a traditional report card with a B, C, D, F type grading like they do in the middle schools, or if we're actually going to create a standards-based report card. So from those academic plans, if we're going to do a standards-based report card, we're going to have to start, I think, taking those one by one and start creating what those standards look like in all the different categories, so that when we ask the IT department to create our report cards for us for the 7th and 8th grade, we'll have all of that information fleshed out.
I don't know if it was just my view or not, but when I accessed it, it was really blurry and hard for me to read. So I don't know if that was just my internet accessing the forms, or if it was just if that's what the copies look like.
The majority of the CTE ones should just be PDFs, so they would come out clear. If you want to try downloading them out of the drive to see if that helps. But the ones in the beginning guitar, I believe those are screenshots or images of the actual sheet music that they are using.
Okay, thanks. I'll try that.
Hey guys, sorry I'm late. I was in the Zoom waiting room, but I made it in.
Yeah, I guess it didn't send a notification. I don't know. So for a quick update for you, we are not officially on the 420 agenda yet. The superintendent wanted legal to look at our current contract with the district, and they sent an amendment to it for the 7th and 8th grade, a draft amendment to Deanne, and then they'll send it to the superintendent and the school board. So hopefully we can still get on that agenda, but not 100% confirmed yet, and no other feedback or questions from them. And then on the April 29th meeting, for our committee meeting, Deanne got the Chugach School District to come give us like a run through of their standards-based grading system. And then we were looking at the electives that are uploaded on the drive, the academic plans for those.
So these things that are on the drive, are they all things that we're considering as options? I think these are really, really cool options, and I love how diverse they are.
Yes, the beginning guitar, business, computer tech, family and consumer science, robotics, publication, and student government, those ones.
So cool. Yes, I love them all. Whoever came up with this, I love it.
So then with these, Deanne, do they have, or maybe it says on there and I just don't see it. Does it have like a curriculum that they use, or they just, oh, down here where it says resources, say that they just use like a website or something? I'm looking specifically at the advanced computer skills one.
Let's see.
I was just wondering if, will we have to be mindful of what kind of things we'll have to purchase for that?
Yes, so I believe code.org might have there's a free portion of it, and I think to use some of the more advanced information in there, there might be some like a site subscription or a class subscription that we might have to purchase. But our code and I think Khan Academy is free. So the district will probably allow us to use whatever curriculum we have or we'd like to use. For that, we wouldn't necessarily have to use theirs as long as we're kind of meeting the expectations for the different standards. Just like they have an algebra course, and we use Saxon for that, and versus Ready Math or Go Math, whatever. We'll probably have the latitude to choose our own textbooks and curriculum for it.
Okay. Especially looking at, what else was I just looking at? The family consumer science just has, the basic like hand sewing, machine sewing. So if they don't use a something, then it would just be up to the teacher, I guess, like the how and the what.
Yes.
Okay.
So remember when we were in middle school, I think we had to make pillows, and we used that as our hand sewing, but we had patterns that we could choose from, either hot dogs or hamburgers, and hand stitching all that stuff together. So I'm pretty sure they're flexible with whoever's going to be teaching the class and what they can find.
Okay. Is there anything with the electives that you want us to work on for next week?
It'll be one of those things where we look at our standards, or if we're going to convert them, our report cards, to a standards base, what would that look like?
Okay.
And then taking a look at all of them. Some of them might be easily translated to a set of standards, and I think some of them might be a little bit more challenging. But the thing about the standards-based report cards is it will help parents understand what the expectations are for the course versus seeing that their kid just got a C in the class or a B in the class for the quarter or the semester.
Out of curiosity, is it possible to do a mix? Like, excuse me. Right now, the specials are basically like a letter grade. I mean, it's not the ABC, but a different letter grade range. Would the electives and stuff be on a letter grade, and then like the core subjects on the standards based?
I mean, that's possible.
But that's part of why we want to see what the Chugach district does too,
Mhm.
right? To see if they have a better method, maybe. Because
Yeah.
are they K-12? Is that what they are?
Yeah, all of their schools are K-12 schools.
And then, do you want to touch any more on this topic or move off this topic?
I'm, I don't know what else we could do at this point besides how we're going to move ahead.
So then, Deanna and I talked today about a lease and kind of playing with some numbers. And we think based on the square footage that we would be assuming, so it would be an additional 5,750 square feet added, which would be at, was it at our normal rate? It would be another 100,000 per year for rent.
Correct.
And that's our normal per square footage rate. So then we were kind of looking at, he's probably not going to, he might front the cost of the build out, but he's not going to swallow the cost of the build out. So we were kind of looking at if we upped our per square footage rate for the whole space and did that over a 3-year lease, it would, what we were playing with would kind of increase it 136,000 a year. So it would be giving him, yeah, the extra 136. So by the time we got through the 3 years, he'd have about 409,000 over our normal rent rate, which would hopefully recoup his costs for him and make him more willing to do the build out for us. Did you have anything else you wanted to add on that?
Yeah, and that is assuming that we agree to pay the full cost of the build out.
True.
You know, we could negotiate a 50-50 where we pay half of that and he pays half of that. Or, you know, a 75-25. Because one of the things that in the charter school regulations is that we're not supposed to make any permanent improvements to facilities because the state doesn't own them. So if he incurs that cost, then we're not actually funding building improvements through state funds for him. But we are modifying a building so that he may not be able to use it for any other purpose than a school. And if we moved out, what other school would be moving in after us? So I think it's kind of fair that we shoulder some of that cost.
Does anyone have any questions? Deanne, do you think there's anything else we need to cover?
I think right now we're sort of in a holding pattern. It's hard for us to
Yeah.
move ahead with our lease and figure out the exact space we want to ask for and how we're going to move forward. Does the committee feel like we want to start working with the district to collect academic plans for the 3 different foreign languages we're looking at? I haven't approached the world language department yet about which language, and then, or do you feel like when we get ready to do the staffing, you want me to look for a specific language rather than just any one of those 3?
I think we could rank them in the order in which we would like to teach them, but I think it will depend on who we can get that is able to teach it. If somebody shows up and they can only teach French, but the next person shows up and they can teach Spanish and social studies and language arts, then do we go with the lady that can teach Spanish because she's got these other 2 things, or do we go with the first choice language or whatever language we put in there? You know what I mean?
Yes, I would like for us to maybe front end our curriculum and standards for any of those 3 courses. Because if we have the first person can teach French, and we have, is French one of the languages?
Yeah.
Okay. And we go 2 years, and that person decides to transfer out, and we find someone else to teach Spanish, but we haven't built out that report card. It'll probably be challenging for us to get IT to spend the time creating that for us before that new teacher comes on board.
And did we, on the topic of languages, did we ever find out, like, if we can't find a person who could teach it, if we can use an online course?
I didn't explore that with the district. I do know that they have in their Apex classes right now of a couple of those languages. The only problem is we'd still have to have a certified teacher be the teacher of record for it, or someone endorsed in that language to be the teacher of record. So the grading
Okay.
part, if they'll allow us to use the Apex courses, then we wouldn't have to necessarily worry about the grading, except for the report card would look different because the teachers in Apex just give the standard A, B, C, D, and F grades. And that might take a little bit of translating from Apex into our reporting system.
I just didn't know if that, if it came to between a rock and a hard place, if it was an option, or if we just have to be like, yeah, we can't do that.
So we could probably do that, and we might be able to even pay on addenda one of the middle school teachers or a high school teacher who's certified in that language to be the teacher of record.
Mm.
And so it wouldn't be that they're actually teaching the class. We'd have maybe one of our teachers monitor the lab while the kids are doing the work online, and
Yeah.
then just pay a stipend for somebody to do the grading portion or monitor the assessments.
Okay. Did anyone else have any questions on anything? Or have any topics they think we need to cover? If not, are you all good being done for today?
I so am.
Me too.
All right. Oh, but before we go, actually, until we're more out of a holding pattern, do we want to do like a every other week meeting? Or do we want to keep weekly ones and just cancel if we know we don't have anything?
Yeah, because if we happen to get on the 20th meeting by chance,
that's true.
there's only one Thursday between now and then. So if we kept it for next Thursday,
is
and
true.
then that way we could talk before the 20th. But then if we don't get on the 20th, then we could cancel next week. I guess we could do that.
Yeah, okay. We'll just do that and play it by ear every week, I guess. Except the 29th, because we know we have those people
Yeah.
to present the grading to us.
But in the meantime, we need to be looking at the drive files.
Yes.
Okay.
Although they're not very detailed to try and come up with with a report card for the elective ones.
Well, that's where we come in, or our school comes in, makes it better.
Does the standard space for the electives, like, I'm forgetting the words, but set us apart and help like push it through? Or if we can't, like, if it's not detailed enough to come up with a standard space, is that sort of a push for letter grades for the electives?
I don't really think that I don't think that it matters for the district approving it. I could be wrong, I guess, but they've never, like when we did our charter and the 2 charter renewals, they didn't say, hey, let me see all of your report cards for all your grade. Oh, no, wait, they did, didn't they? Oh, I think we did have to add those. Okay, never mind. But it was like extra, like it's not in any of the information that they ask. They're not like, let me see all your report cards. It was just like an extra thing that they asked for.
Okay, because I know like several meetings ago, it was brought up that the standard space is one of the things that helps set us apart.
Yes.
So just wonder, I mean, obviously the core stuff, that's a huge
Yeah, I don't know how picky
but
they would be about every single thing.
yeah. Because electives just seem like one of those things that if it's easier and there's no added benefit to trying to do a standards-based grading, then just seems like a letter grade would be a lot easier. And translate up, especially like, well, if we're counting the language as an elective, even though it's sort of not, that translates better when they go into high school.
Yeah. Or like some kind of hybrid model. That's what I'm hoping these Chugach people maybe have some kind of like hybrid model or something. Because she made it sound like theirs is easier than ours.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else anyone wants to touch on? Are y'all ready to go? Mindy's ready to go.
Oh, I'm just working till we're finished. I'm still listening.
I don't have anything else.
Okay. All right. Well, if no one has anything else, I'd say we are done for today.
And we're meeting next Thursday, right?
If we hear back that we're on the following Tuesday school board agenda, then we'll meet
And if
next
not, we'll
Thursday.
in 2 weeks.
Yes.
Okay. I just want to make sure I'm understanding correctly. All right.
If we're on the agenda, is this like, do we need to start preparing?
Yeah, if we're on the agenda, we probably want to have people give public comment in support of it. It won't be an action item on that agenda, but it would probably still look good if we did have people just say something in support of.
Would that be when we would need to present letters of intent as well? Probably.
No, I think when we did that before, we were gonna wait and see if they asked for it at that meeting, because then it'll be 2 weeks before their next one where we would be an action item. So we were going to wait and see, because they don't always require that. So we don't know if they will or won't ask for that. But we have the numbers that we got before to say how many people we had interested. And then if they're like, oh, well, we need signed, people who are say they're going to sign up for it, then we could go back and do that. Okay, anything else?
Nope.
Nope.
I think I'm good.
All right, then we will see what happens between now and next Thursday.
Okie dokie, artichokes.
Awesome. All right. I'll see you guys later.
Bye.
Thanks everybody for working on this.